I'm not a court of public opinion kind of person. It's just weird how they're trying to make Tyra look bad. I mean, it's just weird. I mean, isn't she a black woman that actually made it in the modeling industry? It ain't many of them. A handful that really made it. And then she made it. I remember when Oprah helped her, and then she had her talk show. And then, of course, America's Next Top Model. And then isn't she doing Dancing with the Stars too? I mean, so come on, you know. Jealous much? Jealous much? People coming out the woodworks. They're scrutinizing every single detail of how many years of that show. I used to watch it. I didn't see anything that happened that shouldn't have happened. I've seen worse, I know that. I've seen much worse. Much worse than that. But it's just, they're saying a woman scorned, anybody scorned. It seems like anybody that worked with her is scorned some kind of way. And I used to like the black guy named Miss J, but the way he's handling things, I'm like, wow, really? Their life can't just come to a screeching halt because of whatever's going on with you. He said she reached out to him when it first happened. It's like they downplay that. She reached out to him when it first happened, and then another time she reached out or something like that. I mean, come on. So what do they expect? I ain't hear nobody complaining when the show was going and they were on the show. Nobody came out publicly and said anything. But they're saying something now. Why didn't they say anything then? Because they didn't want to lose what they had lined up. And then when they got fired, well, everything changed. So all these hurt feelings and, everything is so wrong. And, I mean, it's just weird. People have all kind of motives for the things they do. But that court of public opinion and all of that, you wait on me to ever sit around and read what I'm assuming probably hundreds of thousands of people have to say now, right? Hundreds of thousands of people. And I'm sure some of them, she helped pay the way for them to get in whatever industry they're in. I just see a bunch of haters. I'm glad she has her a son. I mean, it's a business. You're running a business. And if she's the executive producer, she can do whatever she wants. She don't have to appear. She can have somebody fill in for her. That's what happened. That girl filled in for her. And all of that. But I've seen much worse. Ain't it funny? They have that under a microscope. But all of the other stuff, all the other worst stuff I've seen, ain't nobody outraged about any of that. I mean, look at it. In all fairness, it just show you how the world is. The world is full of hating ass folks. You can help them, they still hate on you. You can like them, they still hate on you. What does she owe Jay? He taught her to walk. There's more to being a model than walking. You're not walking on photo shoots. When you're taking a photo, you aren't walking. You're not in motion. That's a still picture. So come on. I mean, come on. And nobody ever stopped to think about, maybe she didn't want to see him like that. Maybe she didn't want to see him that debilitated. He said himself he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk. Maybe she don't want to see him like that. Some people don't want to see you in that way. They want to remember you how they're familiar with you. And plus, she has her own child now. So, I mean, things have changed. It changed for her. She has a son to raise. And a career that she just kicked back off, right? Did she just kick back off her career as a model? I don't know if she's still doing Dancing with the Stars, because I don't watch that show. This is weird. I'm not a court of public opinion kind of person. I don't care what anybody else thinks. It doesn't validate it for me. I see it how I see it. And I see a whole bunch of people hating on a very successful African American woman. That's what I see. Black females are hating on her. White females, probably black men, white men, all these other races of people. And it's all with one intent. And then the thing with Sherry, didn't they let her go? When she talks, it seems like I hear she's holding back tears. She's asking Miss J, how does he feel about Tyra not coming to see him and all that? How do you feel? Talk about how you feel about the fact that you aren't being renewed. Talk about that. I'm sure that's not a time that you found out that you sit in that chair that it doesn't cross your mind. I'm sure it crossed your mind. Maybe you're trying to stay busy so that it doesn't cross your mind. But talk about that. They're not going to talk about that. Talk about the pain and the hurt behind that. You know, they're letting her go. She's not going to be on that show no more. I never watched it. She ain't nobody I really want to see as far as a talk show host. I've seen the little clips and all that, but as far as sitting down watching a full show of her, I've never done it. And I think I'm really thinking I only watched one of Wendy Williams. When I saw how she got down, there was no need to watch another full episode of it. I already know how she get down. So there was nothing, you know. Y'all go crazy about them folks. Them folks right now trying to be Wendy Williams. I mean, that's what Sherry thought. She was going to be the next Wendy Williams. Well, I don't know how long this show been on. I don't keep up with it. My days ain't spent keeping up with trivial stuff like that. It's trivial to me. And I mean, for some folks, it's their world. You know, they're probably reading all those comments, believing everything those folks say. And they probably the ones typing a lot of the bad stuff under different accounts. You got psychos in the world like that. Straight up psychopaths. You think she ain't got haters? Of course she got haters. Of course she got haters. I didn't really like her when I first heard of her. Tyra, I didn't really like her when I first heard of her. And then when I got to know her a little bit more, which was from America's Next Top Model, that's when I got to know her. And that's when I realized, wow, she really is a businesswoman. And I couldn't do nothing but respect that. I mean, Heidi Klum was doing her thing. Why can't a black woman do her thing? So now she got all these haters. All of a sudden, there's all these haters. All of a sudden, you know, they're trying to make her look in a bad light and all that. And there's all these expectations after the fact. Listen, there's nothing to apologize for this many years later. You know? The way she hollered at that girl and stuff. I watched it. I saw it. I didn't think nothing of it. I mean, you know, she was trying to get through to her. From one black woman to another black woman. And maybe the way she did it wasn't, proper for television, but I'm sure worse goes on that's not on TV. So it's just weird. It's the Hate Tyra Banks year. Isn't that what Netflix does to different folks? Wasn't it somebody else that they did all that stuff to? I don't know how, I don't know how it went down. You know, I know one thing. You wait on me to sit around reading the minds of scorned psychopaths, and even if they ain't scorned, you're still too invested. There's somebody now that has gone through all of those. If I could see the thing, I would. But I don't really. I mean, I've already seen the show though. I saw the show when it was on. So, and whatever dirt, it will be out like how Shara did it. I already heard about the guy had a stroke. I didn't know about that. I didn't know they were fired. I didn't know about that. I didn't know that it was an executive decision that was above Tyra's head. I didn't know about that. Certain things you don't have no control over. Certain folks, if you got to go, you just got to go. And if that's how you really felt, because the way that they're talking, like they're so disgruntled, they're so outraged, and and they expect, I don't know what they expect you to handle them with kid gloves. Like they're just some kind of fragile, rare thing that's so precious. And apparently they're not. You're replaceable. You had to go. It was rolled up before you they find out about it. It don't matter. At the end of the day, does it really matter? You're going to have to go anyway. So you're going to be gone. They're going to get rid of you. When it's your time, when it has run its course, all of that. It's not that big of a deal. But I enjoyed that show. I always rooted for the underdog. The ones that everybody thought was going to win. I wasn't really into that, A lot of folk went crazy watching that stuff. They went crazy watching that stuff. Those girls, they all knew what they were doing. Okay, at any moment they could have said, "No, I'm not. You're not gonna hang me off of the top of this." I mean, because I saw it. No, you're not gonna hang me off of the top of this skyscraper. No, I'm not gonna kiss no snake. No, you're not gonna put no tarantula on my face. I mean, all that. They could have said no. Okay, they chose to do that. They're like them folks on them shows that eat roaches and crickets and stuff. Right? I don't know what all kind of stuff they eat. I didn't even watch that show no more. It was so gross. It grossed me out. Don't be eating and watch something like that. But it's just weird to me, Now I'm just gonna put it like this. Now all the weirdos is coming out the woodwork. Hating on Tyra Banks, a black woman. Y'all realize how hard it is for a black woman and to have one that made it outside of Oprah. Because Oprah's kind of like the white folks' black woman that made it. Tyra is more accepted among the blacks. And then just the fact, think about it. There was always Naomi Campbell. I mean, she's not American. Not that it matters, but to have an American black woman that made it. I didn't like her when she first came out. I didn't see much of her stuff, but it didn't really matter to me. But, she made it. I mean, and she kept making it, and kept making it, and kept making it. So, of course, she got haters. They coming out the woodwork. You don't even know how many folk hate on you until something like this come up. I mean, Sherry was happy. But ain't she out of a job after all of this is over with? Isn't she gonna be out? She gonna be in the she gonna be in the unemployment line. She sounds like she be about to cry. See, now since I heard about how her show is ending, because I didn't know about that. I was like, wow, they get rid of shit. It's the same thing that happened to the people she was interviewing. Decisions were made over certain folks' head. Once they go down, you got to go. That's how it happened for Sherry. That's how it happened for them same folks that she was interviewing. The judges from America's Next Top Model. Same thing happened to them. So they had something to bond over. Tyra is an awful person. I mean, they didn't come out and say it that way, but they might as well have said it. They might as well have said it. And listen, if Miss J didn't teach her how to walk, somebody else was going to teach her how to walk. You have to have people in that industry that teach her how to walk, that teach people how to walk. I'm sure Tyra ain't the only model he taught how to walk. I'm sure she ain't the only black model that he taught how to walk. She's the one that made it, so they feel like you owe them then. You owe them for the rest of your days. I mean, come on. Folks, it's crazy. It was nice of her to even reach out to him when she found out about it. She didn't owe him that. I mean, how friends can you be? I think they had a professional friendship where he not needed to show her how to walk. They never would have been friends. And I can't even say that they were friends. You know? I mean, think about it. Miss J is messy. You think Tyra ain't got sense enough to know that he'll be messy behind her back toward her? Of course. She's not stupid. You know? And then the other one seemed like he really have a problem. Jay, they both got the same name. I don't know if his name is Mr. J or what. But he seemed like he really take issue with her. What these folks feel like you owe them? What did she owe them? What they paid? What they cut a check for their services? So what does an employer owe you after that? It ain't like they retired on the show. They were they were fired. For probably they got sick of them. At a certain point, they aren't interesting anymore. You need to swap them all out. I like that one that seemed like she was talking from a different country. I liked her. She was a supermodel. I had never heard of her before. But think about it. Heidi Klum was doing her thing. Project Runway? It needed some competition. And at the end of the day, you see how they do the black woman, right? Because it's hard enough for a black woman as it is. And to see it, no one's going to talk about it. It's fair game. The same way they went in on R. Kelly, right? I'm finna end this. It's a shame. I'm going to have to record this. Not record it, but download it.